Live from downtown Bakersfield, 23 ABC News Midday starts now.
Good morning and thanks for joining us for a special digital edition of 23 ABC News at 11 a.m. I'm Danielle Kernkamp.
And I'm Mike Hart. We continue to follow some breaking news at this hour. Fire crews in Los Angeles mopping up a fire that broke out at a 25-story residential building in West Los Angeles. Let's take a look at some live pictures from the scene. This is off Wilshire Boulevard. We're getting reports that just about an hour ago, the fire was knocked down. Fire crews doing a door-to-door search at this hour for any more possible victims who could be injured. There's no word on any fatalities. However, 8 people were suffering from injuries, including a reported 3-month-old. Most of those injuries for smoke inhalation. One person listed in critical condition.
More than 300 firefighters responded to this scene. Flames could be seen coming out of an apartment on the 6th floor. Smoke just pouring out of the residence. One man even climbed out onto the edge of a windowsill to escape from the smoke. A helicopter was just hoisting people off the roof. Now, a fire official did tell reporters they incorporated unconventional tactics in battling this fire, but it is being called suspicious at this point.
All right, we'll have more on this as the day continues online and later tonight at 5 o'clock. All right, let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Elena Russ, get a look at your forecast for this 11 o'clock hour.
Yeah, and let's back up a couple hours. Just before 5 a.m., we had a little jolt here in the heart of Bakersfield. We had what was originally recorded as a 3.38. Now looks like the USGS has updated it to a 3.2. Little shaker there. And it happened in Oildale, but people out into West Bakersfield were saying that it sounded like something hit their house. Many funny responses on our Facebook page of people being like, yeah, I thought my husband fell out of bed. So let us know if you felt it. And thankfully, we have no reports of any damage or injuries out of this. You see a 3, you think back to the 7 we had in Ridgecrest last summer, and you're like, this is nothing. No, it was pretty startling for many people to wake up to this morning. And now as we take a look at today's weather pattern, you see plenty of heavy rain and snow well to the north. We have a fairly dry pattern for our region, but a northwesterly flow is squeezing some winds through the area, passing some clouds. That led to some showers in the foothills. And look at how these winds are still blustery through our mountain and desert locations. That continues for much of the day. The clouds are starting to break apart. That slight chance of showers that we had is already drying up, but we're left quite cool, still in the 40s in McFarland, Taft, and Maricopa at this hour. Tehachapi 45 right now. With that reading site in Fraser Park still below freezing right now. So it is a cool day ahead. These temperatures several degrees below average, where you see 50s for most of the valley and mountain locations, 60s in the desert. And our weekend forecast could go 2 ways. Show you that coming up.
We are coming up to the end of National Blood Donor Month, and local officials are reminding the public about the importance of making a donation year-round.
23 ABC's Austin Westfall took a tour of the Iraishin blood donation facility in the Southwest with a look at who's most in need.
When you come in, you donate 1 pint of blood. That pint of blood can help up to 3 people. You can save up to 3 people's lives.
And according to the Iraishin Blood Bank, more often than not, those lives are people who have emergency injuries or have had a premature baby. Like the Alatorra family, whose twins were born prematurely at 24 weeks and were in dire need of blood.
We don't even know this baby. They're doing so good. Really want to say thank you.
The Alatorras got the blood they needed thanks to a group of donors who sprung into action when the twins were in need. Mother Ruby thanking the group of donors in person at Iraishin last week. But that's not the only reason why blood donations are vital.
Cancer patients are probably the most common patients that use blood and platelet transfusions. They use them when they're going through their chemotherapy treatments.
Iraishin says about 38% of the population qualifies to donate blood, but only about 2 to 5% actually do. Every blood type is useful, but the golden child, they say, is O negative, which is the universal type.
So this is the universal blood type that I was talking about earlier, or O negative, and you can see how little we have right now on the shelves.
If you want to make a donation, Iraishin takes walk-in appointments. They say they need about 100 donations a day to meet their requirement. I asked if they usually get that full 100.
No, we probably get around 60 donations a day.
In Bakersfield, Austin Westfall, 23 ABC, connecting you.
The Mission at Kern County needs your help. The nonprofit asking you to donate men's clothing of all sizes. They will distribute those clothes to their men's homeless shelter, the men's program, and to the emergency day shelter. The center is open from 8 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. And the mission says things like t-shirts or a pair of pants can really go a long way. The mission is located at 816 East 21st Street.
This Friday, the Delano Police Department will be cracking down on people driving under the influence or without a license. DPD is holding a DUI and driver's license checkpoint somewhere within the Delano city limits Friday. It's between 6:30 p.m. Friday, 2:30 a.m. Saturday. Officers will be looking for people with signs of alcohol or drug impairment.
And today, the Kern County Sheriff's Office is hosting a recruiting and testing event for their Explorer program.
23 ABC's Daniela Garrido spoke with the current Explorer on what the opportunity has been like.
And I've noticed that law enforcement is actually something I really want to do. I can't wait till I join the force.
For Jesus Fuentes Ortega, joining the Explorer program 3 years ago gave him confidence in his career decision.
I've learned leadership skills, teamwork. That's like a big thing with this, like teamwork. Since we're all explorers and we're all different ages, come from different backgrounds, it's good to build that teamwork, communication, and just working well with others.
In his 3 years, he's seen peers in the program go on to be KCSO deputies. And now, in his last year of the program, he plans to do the same.
I can think off the top of my head, we've had a handful since I've been the coordinator of the Explorer program go into law enforcement.
But before applying for the police academy, the Explorer program gives prospects a glimpse at what it takes to wear that uniform.
If they do choose a career in law enforcement, the police academy is physically demanding and they need to be ready for something like that, and that's our goal, to kind of teach them to get ready for that.
Similar to the hiring process, the Explorer recruiting and testing event will include a writing and agility test.
The Explorer program is designed for young adults between the ages of 15 and 20 who are seeking a career in law enforcement. We bring them in at a young age to give them an idea of what law enforcement is all about, so they can make a decision on whether or not that's a career field that they would like to do.
And for explorers like Jesus, he's used his time in the program to develop his skills and even come up with his own deputy philosophy.
I grew up on the east side. I like to see a lot of community events, so I would like to also give back to the community. As an explorer, we do a lot of community events, and as a sheriff deputy, I want to continue and give back to the community.
And that was 23 ABC's Daniela Garrido reporting. Well, just announced this morning, country music star Chris Stapleton is coming to Bakersfield this summer. The Tennessee whiskey singer will bring his All-American Road Show to Mechanics Bank Arena on Thursday, June 11th, with special guests Margot Price and the Dirty Knobs with Mike Campbell. Tickets go on sale next Friday, February 7th.
Popular reggae group out of Southern California will be making a pit stop in Bakersfield next week. The group Iraishin is kicking off its Heat Seekers winter tour at the Fox Theater. Iraishin, which describes itself as a deep-rooted reggae influence fused with elements of rock and pop. That's a mouthful. They'll be here next Thursday, February 6th. One of the band members announced in a statement, quote, "We're back. We've had some time to rest up, soak in the sun. Now we're ready to get back on the road." Tickets are available at the box office. They start at just $25. And it's 23 ABC Night at the Condors this Friday when Ontario skates into town. It's also Youth Jersey Night. First 2,000 kids 12 and under get a number 5 Joe Gambardella jersey. Bakersfield's riding a 3-game winning streak coming out of the AHL's All-Star break. The puck drops Friday night at 7.
This morning, we're remembering a local man with a truly sweet disposition. Frank DeMarco, the founder of Rosemary's Creamery, died Monday due to complications from congestive heart failure.
He loved doing this, and what he taught me about this place was hard work.
For the last 36 years, his legacy has brought sweetness to the community through the sweet treats at Rosemary's Creamery. Rosemary's has become a Bakersfield staple, located on the corner of F and 28th Streets in downtown. The ice cream shop, named after DeMarco's wife of more than 60 years, was opened by the couple back in 1984.
Customers to us are very important. Without them, you have nothing. So you got to treat them with respect, and you got to give them a good product.
That was an interview when we spoke with Frank in 2015 as he talked about the importance of customer service. Patrick Brandon, DeMarco's grandson, says the business will continue to serve the community some sweet scoops of ice cream. The services honoring and remembering the life of Frank are open to the public and will be held on February 5th at St. Francis. DeMarco was 89 years old.
After spending 12 years behind bars, Robbie Miller never put much thought into what he wanted out of life outside prison walls. He never imagined he would meet a friend that would not only help him adjust to a new life after prison, but lead him to a life-changing career.
Once I got that dog, it gave me purpose in life.
Robbie Miller's life didn't always look like this.
I went to the streets, got involved in gangs and violence and drugs.
Years ago, while living in Southern California, wrong turns and bad decisions eventually led Robbie here, the Oklahoma State Penitentiary.
I got locked up for armed robbery where I did 12 years in prison. I was caught up with all the prison politics.
But towards the end of his sentence, a change of heart.
I just got sick and tired of living that lifestyle. I started going to church.
Robbie says he wasn't sure exactly what life after prison would look like, but he did know he wanted a dog.
It was something that was like meant to happen.
After 12 years behind bars, Robbie was released in 2014, went to live with family in Kern County. The transition was not easy.
When you get out of the penitentiary and you're all tatted up and you feel people are judging you, even though they might not, because they see you and you're gonna get treated different.
That's when Robbie learned about Shadow through Marley's Mutt's dog rescue.
Shadow was locked in a cage in Ridgecrest, and they shot her when she was in a crate dumped in the desert. I related to her about being in a cage.
Robbie said it was because of Shadow emotions were resurfacing that he hadn't experienced since before he served time.
Compassion, love, that was all out the window, because if you show weakness in there, people thrive off of it. It was like the perfect dog to start a new life with, because we were both struggling with lots of situations.
After he stood by Shadow's side as she underwent a life-saving surgery, Miller says he was inspired by her strength.
There was a .40 caliber bullet lodged in her lungs about a centimeter from her heart. So they actually had to crack her open, remove part of her lung.
It wasn't long before his love for Shadow grew into something more. After working with local dog rescue Marley's Mutts and a dog sanctuary in Oklahoma where he learned to treat animals,
dog communication, behavior, the medication sides, vaccinations,
Miller founded a dog rescue of his own, Strength of Shadow, or SOS.
There is so many dogs that need help in Kern County, and I just felt that they needed a place up here in the Kern River Valley.
Based out of Bonfish, in the last year and a half, SOS Rescue has worked with about 80 dogs.
At SOS, what we do is we pull from high kill shelters in Kern County only, rescue them, do their medical work, try to get them their basic training. They all have their own issues, and a lot of times it just takes a little patience, some TLC, and you can get them through.
Robbie says from SOS Rescue, dogs have gone on to find their forever homes with loving families, veterans in need of companionship.
I don't like to go anywhere without him.
And even to star in national commercials.
And dog life is more fun with Milkbone.
Miller says Shadow changed his life, and now he's able to pay that forward to dozens of adoption families.
No matter what walk of life, you know, from deaths to physical abuse to divorces, military, how a dog can bring every walk of life together.
His second chance at life more fulfilling than he could have ever imagined.
Before, I was just taking from the world. Every day I was giving people their first addiction, I was robbing people. Now, every day, I'm making the world a better place with my team.
So if you want to support SOS, you can do that just by ordering lunch here in downtown Bakersfield at Angry Barnyard Barbecue. They have the SOS dog on their menu, and if you purchase that, part of those proceeds benefit the SOS Dog Rescue.
A full tummy and a happy heart. That's awesome, Alyssa. Thank you for that great coverage. So let's take a look outside. We are getting closer to lunchtime now, and you see most of the valley up to those low 50s as the clouds are breaking apart. Still some fast winds coming through the mountains and deserts today as we are squeezed between those two systems. That low pressure system dropping down into the Great Basin and the high pressure building over the Pacific. So see that squeeze and the pressure gradients a little tighter with those faster northwesterly winds. So we're seeing some passing clouds, some cooler weather, some winds, but then it's out of here by tomorrow, and the high pressure keeps building onshore. So you see the overall trend is to have warmer, stable, sunny weather for most of Kern County. Here in the valley, though, it's a toss-up. What's going to happen? Well, right now I've gone with the optimistic sunny 70s for the weekend ahead forecast, but with that said, you see that we have the breezes today kind of keeping things stirred up. As we calm down for the end of the week, there's a chance of morning fog. And because high pressure that creates warming like this is sinking air, that could trap the cloud cover and leave it as a low stratus deck. If we're gray and gloomy here in Bakersfield, we've seen in the dead of winter with patterns like this before where it just gets stuck and it doesn't clear for a day or days at a time. That could potentially ruin this forecast. So it all depends on the fog the next 2 mornings. If it clears, we get 60s to 70s, fantastic weather. If it gets stuck, it could stay dreary gray 60s right on into the big game on Sunday. That's also Punxsutawney Phil's big day. It's going to be Groundhog Day. He's forecasting from Pennsylvania, though. We usually don't match whatever his forecast is going to be. Still fun to watch. On Monday, whether it's sunny 70s or gray and gloomy, we will see a cool down, some breezes. Slight chance of rain. Still not too confident in that storm just yet. You see I've knocked it back down to 10%. It's looking like a real quick hitter of some cold air. Not much precipitation this far south, but again, we'll watch it. Still several days away. You see it climb back up to more 60s next week. So for our friends in the mountains, they do not have to worry about stuck clouds this weekend. So they can count some sunny 70s in the Kern River Valley. It's cool and windy today in Tehachapi and Fraser Park, but sunny 60s come this weekend. So many people, when we get stuck clouds like this for days or days at a time, which is, a possibility, you can run for the hills. You can go up and you'll be fine.
Isn't that amazing? It might be warmer in the Kern River Valley than here this weekend.
Yeah.
There's a chance for that.
There's a chance.
Cool. Thanks,
You have to climb out of it, that's all.
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly it.
All right, we want to thank you for tuning into the special digital version of 23 ABC News. Don't forget on the TV side, you can go back to continuing coverage by ABC of the Senate impeachment trial.
And you can always find your local headlines on our website, turn to23.com.